Hello, everybody. Welcome to GM Sports Report, your weekly podcast on all things sports, where every play counts. I'm Grant, and I'm here with my co-host Mason as we get ready to cover the latest news, headlines, and upcoming events going on in the sports world. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to see all things GM Sports Report. Mason, how you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing great. How are you? I'm doing good, Grant. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. As we know, NFL season's approaching us this week, and I'm very excited for it, as I'm sure you are, because you're a big football
Absolutely.
fan.
Yep.
Uh, what we're going to start out with doing is going over the latest news of the past week or so in the sports world. Basically, the biggest news right now is that college football is back. You know, everyone's excited for that. Everyone loves college football.
hmm
Did you enjoy week one?
Absolutely. I think there was a lot of good matchups that were right off the bat. Um, I think that we have a lot to discuss, like with all the games that
Oh,
happened, a
yeah,
lot of
for sure.
upsets, a lot of things that went other ways that people that they thought was going to happen, and just went completely another way. But
Yep,
yeah.
for sure. So, speaking of all the action that happened, one of the biggest headlines that I want to start out with is, do you think that Travis Hunter is a lock for the Heisman?
I think he's definitely a top three candidate. I wouldn't say as far as a lock yet. He obviously had an outstanding performance against North Dakota State, but other guys did as well. Your boy Cam Ward, he
Right.
was doing amazing against my
Mm-hmm.
Florida, and Jackson Dart from Ole Miss. I think he had an amazing game, even though it wasn't against a top school, but he put up a record performance for Ole Miss's football club.
Right. Um, I'm also not going to go as far as to say that he's a lock because it's only week one after all. But I think he's by far like the most impressive from after
Mm-hmm.
week one. I mean, the fact that like he did what he did, I mean, we're talking 7 receptions for 132 yards and 3 touchdowns. But
Right.
not only was he doing like just playing offense, he played 69 snaps on defense too, and that's like almost unheard of in today. So I'm not going to go as far as to say he's a lock, but he's definitely a front runner if you were to ask me.
Right.
And like you said, I loved Cam Ward's performance. So yeah, that was a very good one. I know you're a Gators
I
fan, so
know.
I
I
won't
know.
rub it in too much. I won't rub it in too
Yeah.
much. But going in to the next topic on the headlines is do you think that Miami is a playoff team this year?
I think if Cam Ward and that receiver Restrepo, I like him a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I think if they can continue to do what they did against Florida and kind of pick apart the defenses and zone and man coverage, I think that they can be a playoff spot, get a playoff spot this year.
Yeah, look, I mean, they got Cam Ward this year. That was a big talk. You know, everyone was excited for that, and he delivered. He went into a hostile situation in Florida, and he put up 385 yards for 3 touchdowns on a 74 completion percentage. So,
Yep.
pretty dominant outing. And I do think that with that, how that offense looked, and also how the defense looked pretty solid too. I think that if they keep playing like that, they're going to be a team to watch out for sure. I think I can see them making the playoffs. So,
For
going to be
sure.
interesting to see what happens with Miami going forward.
Without a doubt.
Uh, Next thing I want to talk about is after week one, we've noticed there's some winners, but there's also some losers. I want you to go into who is your winner for week one.
So my winner, um, there's a lot of good things from a lot of good teams, but I'd have to say after watching last night's Boston College versus FSU game, Boston College is my winner of the week.
Very
Just
good
what
team.
they have with Bill O'Brien as the new head coach and Tim Lewis, the defensive coordinator. They have loads of experience on that coaching staff, and they have a whole bunch of other guys that are big key parts. Thomas Castellanos, the quarterback,
Mm-hmm.
he didn't have the most impressive passing stat line with 10 passes for 10 completions for 16 attempts,
But
106
he can
yards with
run.
2 touchdowns. Yeah, he had 14 carries, 73 yards and touchdown. And that's just, him. And then Kai Robichaud and Trayshawn Ward, they both had almost 100 yards rushing, with Trayshawn Ward had 61 receiving yards and a touchdown. So I'm really excited to see what they can do under Bill O'Brien and Tim Lewis, and just they gave them FSU boys a work last night.
Yes, they did. That's a very good pick. Very good pick. My biggest winners, I'm gonna have to go with Miami. We
Yep,
were
yep.
going back and forth all week. He's saying, "Oh, they're gonna get killed. They're gonna go to the swamp and lose, and all of that kind of stuff." But they went in there and they put up a pretty dominant performance.
They
It almost
did.
looked like a Hurricanes home game by the end of that game, if you know what I'm saying. So
Right.
they are by far my week one winners. I also put in Penn State. They had a dominant performance. Their offense looks impressive with Nick Singleton, and they got a lot of
Mm-hmm.
guys there. They look very talented. I also went with Tennessee. They had a great week, winning 69-3 against Chattanooga. Very
Mm-hmm.
impressive performance, and those are my winners for week one. But my biggest winners are Miami. So, with
Cool.
that being said, now it's time to get into the losers. Who do you have as your biggest loser in week one?
So there's no debate as far as who the biggest loser is. It is FSU, but I do have Oregon and Michigan
Mm-hmm.
as my other two losers. They did win, but just the fact that they were as close with those teams that they played against, with Oregon being ranked number 3 and still being that close to Idaho Vandals, it's they had impressive stat lines on the offensive side. For Dylan Gabriel, 41 completions and 49 attempts, 380 yards and 2 touchdowns. And then Jordan James, the running back, 15 carries, 95 yards and a touchdown. So they did well on the offensive side. It's just they were not looking like a 3 ranked team. So we'll see if they can put that together against Boise State next
Very
week.
good take. Very good takes there because, a lot of people don't associate the losers with teams that won. But I think, like you said, they didn't put up a dominant performance when they should have. And
Right.
for my biggest losers, I'm going with the obvious here. It's FSU. I mean,
Right.
last year they were undefeated. They beat teams like Miami. They beat teams like Clemson. And now they're losing to unranked teams in Georgia Tech and Boston College. I mean, I had this written out when they had just lost to Georgia Tech, and I'm like, how can you lose to Georgia Tech? Surely you're going to come out against Boston and dominate, right? Like surely, and they got blown out. It was a terrible performance again.
Horrible.
DJ, the quarterback DJ, he needs to find a new job, man, because I don't think quarterbacks for him. They were hyping him up a lot, and he just looked terrible so far. The offenses look terrible. The defenses look terrible. They cannot stop the run game. Let me tell you about that.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely terrible. On the other note, I do have some other losers. I think that Clemson's they're a loser. Now they were playing Georgia, which we know how Georgia is. Very
Number
good
1
team,
ranked team. Yep.
but Cade Klubnik, there was a lot going around about him being, a dominant quarterback, and he just couldn't get it going. 18 for 29 with only 142 yards. I mean, not that impressive of a game, but again, it is against Georgia. Georgia's very solid, as we know. So I'm not going to get on them too much. And then LSU lost to USC as a 13 seed, and USC was a 23 seed, I believe.
Correct.
That's my other loser there. But FSU by far, I mean, you're talking about a team that was complaining all offseason that they didn't make the playoffs last year, and they've lost to 2 unranked teams to start out their season. And it's only week 1, and they've had 2 losses. So that's all I got to say with that. That's pretty bad.
Well, just DJU Galilee. I mean, I know everyone's gonna be ripping into him, saying whether or not if he should start next week. And
right,
the first half, he did not have the greatest stat line, and then he kind of stat padded towards the
he stat
second
padded
half.
it 100%, 100% stat padded it.
Tried to make his numbers look a little bit better than they were, but they were all pretty much catch and runs. And then that one Megatron performance by Kentron Poitier with 3 receptions, 79 yards, and a touchdown. Just, see what he can do. But
so with you saying the whole thing about how he should be benched, do you think he should be benched going into next week, or do you think give him another shot?
I think we've seen as much as we're going to see at DJU Galilee.
I agree. I don't think they will bench him, but I think they should.
Absolutely, but it's just Mike Novak, or I forget his name, but the FSU's coach, he's not on the hot seat yet. I don't think, just because coming off a 13-0 season last year, but we'll see. We'll see what they do. Yeah.
All right, now we're going to transition into some MLB because there's about only 20 games left in the season at the time of recording this. Who can you see going far in the playoffs this year?
Well, I'm a big New York guy, so obviously I'm gonna say my Yankees.
Fair pick.
I think we'll get into the first, second round of the playoffs. It's just the relievers. I don't know if we have
That
the
bullpen's rough.
bullpen. I don't
Bullpen's
know if
rough,
we
and you
have.
need that going into the playoffs.
You do, and our hitters, they're good when they're good, but they're bad when they're bad. So we'll see how that goes. And Philly, I think, is a good team. Also, he's probably gonna make it far. And Orioles, I think they're
Yeah,
gonna do
they're
pretty
my
well.
favorites for
But
the NL as well.
yeah, so I mean, that's kind of my take on MLB.
Gotcha. Yeah, I also put down the Yankees. I do think, their last few years
Yeah,
they haven't been able to prove themselves, and this is the year to do it. I mean, you got Judge who's going to win MVP again. There's no debate about
yeah,
that. You got Juan Soto. You got guys like Garrett Cole still. You got you got the star power for it. It's like they need to prove now that they can lock in and win
right,
some playoff games here, and that they can go far and push for a World Series because anything other than a World Series appearance is a letdown in my eyes for that team. And I think that's also a letdown in Juan Soto's eyes. And that's an
right,
important person that you got to persuade to come back this next season. I love the acquisition of Jazz Chisholm. I think he's been great so far. And we never really seen him in an important playoff role before because he's been on the Marlins in the past, but it will be interesting to see what he's like. I think he's a player that can turn it on and come playoff time. I'm a big Jazz Chisholm fan.
right.
Another team that I think is an underdog in the AL is Cleveland. I think they're putting together a really good
Mm,
season this year. I think they're not talked about enough. Jose Ramirez is about to put up a 30 for 30 year and no one's saying a word about it. This man is
right.
consistently one of the best hitters in baseball every single year. And I can see them going far. And as far as NL goes, I think it's the two top dogs. I think it's Los Angeles and Philly. I think those are the two teams that are the teams to beat. I like Philly a little bit more personally. I know a lot of people like the Dodgers a little bit more. I personally like the Phillies more. So that's where I stand with that. Yeah, I also I have a hot take. I do not think
Mm,
that the Baltimore Orioles are going far this year. You know,
wow.
a lot of people love the Orioles. I just think they're still a little too young. I think they
Mm,
have another year of development ahead of them. I think they
yep.
got to start developing Jackson Holiday a lot this upcoming offseason and following season. I just don't think they're there yet. I don't. I know a lot of people are going to be upset with that because they love Baltimore. I like Baltimore too. Don't get me wrong, but I don't see them going far. Next, I want to see who your takes on MVP are this year, NL and AL. I know it's pretty obvious, but let's just get those out the way really quickly.
Yeah. So AL, I'm gonna have to go Judge.
Right.
Even though Bobby Witt is having probably the greatest shortstop season of all
In a
time,
long
and
time. Long
yeah,
time. Big
long
Bobby Whip
time.
fan.
But yeah, Judge, just the numbers that he continues to put up, I think that's pretty much a lock. And same with NL Otani, just stolen bases and home runs that he's getting. It's just, and he's not even pitching. He's not even pitching
Yeah,
this
no,
year,
that's
and
the thing. He's not even a pitcher, so that one's a
so
lock too.
yeah,
Yeah, I agree. Those are my two. I mean, Judge, you're looking at a guy hitting 51 home runs right now, which is first. He has 123 RBIs, which is first. I mean, he's looking like he might have a chance to break that record he set a couple years back.
hmm
It's pretty easy there. I mean, I love Bobby Witt Jr. The man is very impressive, batting 340 with 30 home runs, 27 stolen bases, and incredible defense. I
hmm
love Bobby Witt, very high on him. I think it sucks that he's being shadowed by Judge right now, and in a different universe, maybe Bobby Witt will
right.
win the MVP, but that's just not happening. And that
Yeah, I
also
know.
goes for Shohei. Shohei, first player in MLB history to have a 44 home run, 43 stolen base season, and he keeps adding to that. He's going to keep adding to that. We're looking at a guy that can get the 50 home runs again this year. Uh, not pitching. He's going to
Nah,
start pitching again
exactly.
next year, and he'll win it
Yep.
again and again and again. As long as he's in the league, he's
Hmm.
going to win. So there's not even a second player to mention in the NL, in my
No,
opinion. I mean, they say
no,
the second best odds are Francisco Lindor, but you asked me if I want Francisco Lindor or
no.
Shohei on my
I know.
team. I'm saying Shohei 10 times out of 10. So
Well, he's
as
he's
far as that
showing
goes, that's where I stand with MLB right now.
he's showing those Dodgers fans why he's worth that 600 million.
Oh,
So
100%. 100%. So that's all the talk for MLB and college football right now. But as I said in the intro, we have NFL returning this week, the best week of the year in a lot of people's eyes. Week one is upon us, and I want to get into the main segment of this video, which is our NFL preview. So I think something that's going to be fun this week that we can do is go over every single game, say who we think's going to win and why, real quick. So week one, first game of the season is going to be Baltimore KC. I think that's going to be a phenomenal game. Who do you got winning that game and why?
I have Baltimore at KC. I got Baltimore winning. I know that's, everyone's, Kansas City won back-to-back, but
Right.
they also won the year before. They won, was it 2 years ago? And coming off against the Lions, they had a horrible game. So
terrible.
Kadarius Toney, all those drops.
right.
So I think Baltimore is a 100% better team as far as starting off the season, and they just got Derrick Henry. Lamar Jackson's fresh off an MVP. Zay Flowers, they have the star power to go into Kansas City, rough environment like that, and come out on top.
Yeah, we agree here. I also got Baltimore winning. I don't know if it's because I'm a Dolphins fan and I'm being a Chiefs hater right now, but Baltimore I'm very high on. Derrick Henry and Lamar. That's
all you need.
That's going to be a show right there. That's going to be an absolute show. You got Zay Flowers. Mark Andrews is fully healthy again. So I just think that they're going to come out there and they're going to win. I think they're playing with a vengeance after that disappointing playoff game they had last season. I think they got something to prove, and I think they're going to come out and I think they're going to win. I do think it's going to be a close game, but I do got Baltimore coming out on top. So coming up next, we do have Green Bay versus Philadelphia. The weird Brazil game that I don't understand is on the schedule, and the players seem to not like that either. Who you got winning that game?
Well, as an avid Philadelphia hater, I'd love to see Green Bay go against Philadelphia and Saquon Barkley and Jordan Love just absolutely.
I think his name's actually Saquon Barkley. Saquon.
No. So I think Jordan Love's gonna put on a performance and hopefully come out on top, but we'll see, man.
You just don't have it in you to say.
No, I have nothing.
You just don't have it in you. But I'm sorry you're wrong. I'm sorry you're wrong because Philly's winning, and they're going to win by a lot, in my opinion. I think they have a phenomenal team. I do. I really do. I know you don't want to hear those words. I think Saquon's about to put up his best season. I really do.
I think they have a team, but.
They have a great team. I'm not a big Philadelphia fan either. I'm really not. If I was an NFC fan, I'd hate them too. But I think they're going to be very good this year, and I think they're going to take out Green Bay. That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. We got Pittsburgh versus Atlanta. Who you got winning that game?
So I think with the whole quarterback situation going on right now, I don't think Russell Wilson will be able to get the job done in Atlanta, but you could say the same for Atlanta with Kirk Cousins, but I have Atlanta winning over Pittsburgh. I think it'll be a bit of a shocker because everyone's probably going to pick Pittsburgh to win just with all the star power they have, but I think Atlanta will get the edge.
I also believe Atlanta's going to win this game. I'll get into Atlanta a little bit more later in the episode. I have something to say about them.
Okay.
I think they have a very good young core right now. They got Bijan, they got Kyle Pitts. They got the best quarterback that they've had since Matt Ryan. So
right.
I think they're gonna win against Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh's got a lot of problems right now with like the whole quarterback situation, like you were saying. Their running back situation is not that good still. So I got Atlanta winning, but I also wouldn't be surprised if Pittsburgh wins, but my gut pick is Atlanta. So next we got Arizona versus Buffalo. Who you got winning that game?
I think Arizona is going to get the win over Buffalo. I think Buffalo has just lost way too many weapons on the defensive side, and I think Kyler Murray is going to put up a great season, and I'm just hoping for the best for that.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go. I'm a Dolphins fan, so this hurts to say, but I'm going to go with Buffalo. As a Dolphins fan, it seems like Buffalo never actually goes away, even though they've lost a lot. They just always seem to find a way. So I think that Josh Allen's going to find a way to win. I think Dalton Kincaid's going to have a good year this year, and I think he's going to start off hot on week 1. So that's who I got. And I think I also am very high on Keon Coleman, as you and me have talked about a lot in the past. And so I got them winning as much as I don't want them to win. I want Arizona to win. So I'm hoping I'm wrong on that one.
Right. I
That's
have
who I got
Buffalo
winning.
written down as a winner, but I'd like to see Arizona to win, so I'll
Right.
kind of put my bias into it and
Right.
say Arizona will come out on top, but I can absolutely see it going either way.
All right. After that game, we got Tennessee versus Chicago. That's going to be a fun one. I feel like. Who you
Yeah.
got winning that?
I think Chicago's gonna win. I think Will Levis. He had a good game, against your Dolphins, but
We
towards
don't
the
need to
later
talk. I don't see why that
towards
needed to be brought up. I think
towards
that they're
the
playing. They're playing Chicago, not the Dolphins. When I'm looking at my notes here, so I don't know why we're
well,
bringing that game up. But go ahead.
because he's got the potential to do good, but I just still think we need to see a lot more out of him. But I think with just the structure that they put around Caleb Williams, first overall pick, with Roma Dunze, Keenan Allen,
Mm,
and all of these guys, still have DJ Moore, so
right.
they got these good weapons who I think just outweighs the Tennessee entirely.
Yeah, I also got Chicago winning. I think Roma Dunze and Keenan Allen are great complementary adds to DJ Moore. I do think Caleb Williams is going to be pretty good. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if he's going to be as good as everyone says. Time will tell.
Right.
I got them winning against Tennessee. I don't think Tennessee is that great of a team. And once again, I don't know why we brought up that Dolphins game last year. That's last season. This is this season. Anyways, we're going to go next into New England and Cincinnati. Pretty obvious pick here, I feel like.
Yeah, New England's just a time bomb waiting to explode if it hasn't already. They got they're saying they got Jacoby Brissett starting, and you get Drake May at 3 overall and Joe
I
Milton.
don't get that either. I don't
Joe
understand.
Milton's outperforming the number 3 overall pick, and it's just there's too much going on over there, and I'd put everything towards Cincinnati, and Cincinnati's got healthy Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, who hopefully is willing to play with all this money situation going on, but I think he'll be able to play. So, yeah, I think Cincinnati's coming out on top.
Yeah, I got New England by a million. No, I'm just kidding. Cincinnati's going to absolutely murder the Patriots. The
Mm-hmm.
Patriots, I don't think they're going to be good at all this year. So
Mm-hmm.
that's all I got to say about that.
Right, right,
Uh, Houston versus Indiana, or at Indiana, rather. Sorry.
right. Um, I love CJ Stroud and Tank Dell. He's healthy. Um, I'm excited. Just got Stephon Diggs as well, so I'm excited to see what Houston could put up against Indianapolis. But they have Anthony Richardson as well, so
Right.
he could get something
People
going
are
as
saying
well.
Jonathan
But
Taylor might have a big game,
right,
big
right.
year.
I have Houston winning though.
Right. I also got Houston winning. I don't think it's going to be a blowout by any means necessary,
No.
though. As we were saying, Anthony Richardson coming back and Jonathan Taylor coming back with a full year of vengeance is what the people are saying.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how that goes. But I got Houston winning. I think they're going to be one of the better teams in the AFC this year. They got Nico, they got Diggs, they got
Mm-hmm.
Tank Dell, they got CJ Stroud. I can keep going, but we all know
Right.
who they have. So
Mm-hmm.
they just got a very impressive team, and I don't see Indianapolis being able to stop that in week one. So following that, we got Jacksonville at my Miami Dolphins. Who do you got winning that
Mm-hmm.
game?
I think Miami's gonna win. I do. I'd love to see what Tua can do in the clutch this year, though. That's the biggest thing. I was surprised they paid him this year. I think kind of
Me
everyone
too.
was waiting for another season to see how he'd do as far as playoffs and clutch situations. But we'll see. We'll see what he can do. I got Miami winning over Jacksonville.
Yeah, I got it being a very high scoring game. I think both
Hmm.
teams got improved offenses. Dolphins they kept the same offense, but I think Devon Achan is going to have a lot
Yeah.
bigger of a role, which is going to play a role. I think Dolphins are going to win overall, though. But like I said, high scoring game, but I got Dolphins winning.
Hmm.
After that, we got Carolina at New Orleans. Who do you got winning that game? Battle of the mid,
Um.
if you ask me.
it's this is the prime example of a. I don't know if it is a 1 o'clock game, but if it isn't, it should be, just because there's so much going on at that time, and I don't think anybody will be watching this over any of the other games. But if I was to pick, It'd be New Orleans. I think Carolina's just too young of a team. They don't have that veteran leadership as much as New Orleans does. But even New Orleans, they really don't have much there either. They have Derek Carr, and that's about it. Chris Olave
Yeah.
is a great young receiver. Alvin Kamara, he's still there. He hasn't put up the numbers that he used to, but he's still producing. So
Yeah.
I got New Orleans winning.
I got New Orleans winning too. I don't have really much to say on this game. I think you pretty much hit on it when you said the skills players and Kamara and Olave. I think that they'll be able to handle them. So next we got Minnesota at your New York Giants, which you're going to be at that game. So be sure to follow our TikTok at GM Sports Report. We're going to try to get a little mini vlog of Mason's time at the game coming up this week. Should be a fun one.
Absolutely.
Who you got winning?
I love to say New York Giants win. Minnesota, they have all that stuff going on at quarterback. Got Sam Darnold starting over JJ McCarthy. JJ McCarthy obviously has season-ending injury.
Big blow.
But you can't count out Justin Jefferson. No matter who's throwing the ball, it's still Justin Jefferson. He missed a lot of time last year. Still put up about 1,000 yards. So I'd have New York Giants winning, but I could see it being a very close game.
Look, if JJ McCarthy was healthy, I'd have the Vikings winning. Oh. I can't believe I'm saying this. It depends. I think if Jefferson has a big game, Vikings are going to win, obviously. But I think you're going to make me regret saying this, but I think because they're playing at New York, and I think maybe because you'll be there, I'm going to have to go with the Giants. I think the Giants are getting I can't believe I'm saying this. I think the Giants are getting more hate.
Just say it.
I think the Giants are getting more hate than they deserve right now.
Mm-hmm.
Are they bad? Yes, they're really bad. Are they going to make the playoffs? Absolutely not. They're not going to make the playoffs. But I don't think they're going to be as bad as everyone thinks they're going to be. And I can see them beating a beat up Minnesota Vikings. I think the Vikings are kind of a little scrambled right now, not knowing what to do because imagine game plan for week 1 without who's supposed to be your future franchise quarterback, and you're going into a hostile environment. Giants are going to try to prove something this year. I don't know what they're going to prove exactly.
Daniel Jones. You love
no,
Daniel Jones.
I do not. I think Daniel Jones is terrible, but we'll get on to I got Giants winning this week. Let's just put it at that. Okay.
All right.
Next we got Las Vegas versus the Los Angeles Chargers. Who do you got winning that game?
I have Los Angeles Chargers winning. Herbert's back. Forgot about that. Mm-hmm. He went pretty much the whole season last year without playing. Vegas, they have Gardner starting, right?
I believe so, yes.
I have Los Angeles Chargers winning.
Not much to say there.
I like what Vegas was doing towards the end of the year with the new coaching change, and they started winning some games with getting Devontae Adams.
Yeah, it seemed like that coach over there.
Yeah. What's his name? Pierce, I think it is.
I believe so.
Yeah, but I have Chargers winning. They're at home, kind of have everything going towards them. So.
Yeah, I also got Chargers winning. I think Herbert's going to have a great year. Another player I'm not too high on because of the whole Tua versus him debates for the past few years, but I got Chargers winning.
I didn't even say that. You said that yourself.
I know.
All right.
Let's just get into the next game. We got Denver at Seattle. Who you got winning that game? Do you care about that game at all?
I mean, Seattle's gonna win, bro. But Denver, there was conversations of Stidham starting, so I think that kind of Stidham, Zach Wilson, and Bo Nix.
Yeah.
If that's not the same situation as New England, I don't know what else is.
So you're absolutely right.
Cortland Sutton is the best thing that they have over there, and I mean Surtain, obviously, but
yeah.
There's nothing else to say.
Seattle. I think Seattle's going to win. I think they're going to have to go heavy on the run game, though, because I do think Surtain's going to lock up Metcalf a lot.
Yes.
So Kenneth Walker's going to have a big game, and they're going to have to run. And I think they'll win overall because I don't think Denver's that good.
No.
All right, next we got your Dallas Cowboys at the Cleveland Browns. Who you got winning that
Red,
game?
chill out. So as much as it pains me to say this, I I have my hatred towards teams in the NFC East, and Philly's all the way up here, and then it's
Right, as it
Dallas,
should be.
and then you know
The rest.
Washington. Yeah, but I have Dallas winning over Cleveland. Cleveland just hasn't shown me anything. Nick Chubb's not playing. Obviously he had that horrible injury last year against the Steelers,
Mhm.
and I think Dallas is a little bit more complete over Cleveland. I don't think they'll be as great as everyone's saying. Um, they don't have a secondary quarterback. Trey Lance, we obviously saw how that went in preseason.
They
5
actually announced
interceptions.
yesterday he is the third string going into this upcoming
That's what I'm
season.
saying. So
So
I mean, secondary quarterback, I don't even know who it is, honestly. But yeah, Dallas, I think, is just going to get the win over Cleveland. Their defense alone can probably beat Cleveland.
yeah, shout out Matt. I got Dallas winning. That's all I'm gonna say there. Shout out Matt. Um,
It's not watching.
next we have Washington at Tampa Bay. Who got winning that game?
I have Tampa Bay winning just off of experience and the veterans that they have, but I think Washington in a couple of years' time could, with Jaden Daniels leading at the helm, I think they could end up being a very good team. So I have Tampa Bay winning this game, but I'll explain it on a little later on why I think Washington will be good.
Absolutely hot take here. Some may say out of my mind when I say this, but
Wow.
I think Baker Mayfield is a dark horse MVP candidate. I really
Whoa,
do.
whoa,
I
whoa,
really do.
whoa,
I really do. I'm also a very big Baker fan, but no, I'm not 100% serious when I say that. I do think he's going to be very good this year, though, and I do think that Tampa Bay is going to beat Washington. I think Washington is also going to be decent this year, but it seems like they have a lot of plans with Rashad White, the running back. It seems like they're going to try to give him more of a CMC role, even though there is no other CMC in the league.
Tell him.
That'll be interesting to see. And like I said, I am on the higher side of Baker Mayfield. I think he's going to have a pretty great year. I just want to throw that out there. I was kind of kidding, kind of not kidding when I made that dark horse MVP candidate. If he plays absolutely terrible, I was 100% kidding. But if he plays great,
all
I
the
told you so.
production, yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, I got Tampa Bay winning that game. I do think that's actually going to be a sleeper good game right there. I think a lot of people aren't going to tune into that game, but I think it will be a good game.
Yeah.
Next we got the Rams versus Detroit. Who you got winning that game?
I have Detroit winning. Coming off the best season they had in I don't even know how many years. A very long time, we'll say that. I
Yeah.
love what Dan Campbell's doing over there with Jared Goff and Jameson Williams. I think he's going to be an amazing receiver this year. Just off of what I saw against the New York Giants, preseason game, all the training camps that they did. I think
Right. They spoke
I
very
think they have
highly
a
on
lot
him.
going on over there. I love Jahmyr Gibbs.
Mm-hmm.
Defense is just amazing. They don't have just one guy I can really. Well, obviously Aiden Hutchinson, but
Right.
everyone else just works together, and that's exactly what I think Dan Campbell is looking to do with the team, and it's been doing exactly that. So I have Detroit winning over Rams.
Yeah, I think you look at Detroit, you see a team that has some of the best chemistry in the NFL. So
Without a
I think
doubt.
they're one of the most fun teams to watch, and I think that they're gonna beat the Rams. I do think the Rams are going to be pretty good this year with having Cooper Kupp fully back and Puka, looking to see what he does this upcoming season. You got Stafford, so they're going to be a decent team, but I think Detroit is just better at the end of the day, and I think they're going to come out there and win. So we're going into our last game now for week 1, and that is the New York Jets, which a lot of people have high expectations for, versus what a lot of people look at as the favorites out of the NFC, the 49ers. So you got one in that game.
I have, obviously just off of bias, I'm going to go San Francisco. I love Christian McCaffrey, probably my favorite player in the NFL. They just have so many more weapons over in San Francisco than New York. Garrett Wilson is a phenomenal receiver. If Aaron Rodgers is healthy, that's going to be a very insane duo to look out for. But team-wise, overall, I'm picking San Francisco. They're just more complete in every way.
Right. Yeah, I got San Francisco winning too. I think the Jets will be good this year, but I don't think they're winning week one against San Francisco.
No.
All right, so there's our week one predictions. We're gonna come back next week and see who. I think we agreed on a lot of our picks
Yeah,
actually,
I don't
but
think we.
we'll come back and we'll see how we did overall. We'll give ourselves a report card sort of thing and see how we
Yeah.
did. So make sure you tune in next week for that. Real quick, for the sake of time, we'll do this real rapidly. I just want to go over some, quick predictions that we got going into the NFL season, keep it in the NFL state of things. What team do you think will surprise the league in a good way, and what team in a bad way, and why? Real quick.
Washington, I think, is going to be a good surprise. I think Jane Daniels is going to turn a lot of heads. And he's got Terry McLaurin who's going to help him out astronomically, and I think that's my good surprise team. And my bad surprise team is Buffalo. I think everyone kind of knows that they're losing a lot. They lost a lot of guys, but I think it's just going to be a lot worse than people think. They let go of Frank Gore Jr., who had an amazing preseason, he was fourth in carries, second in rushing yards at 163 and a touchdown. So the reason they let him go, I have no idea, but just moves like that shows me that all I really needed to see. So what do you got?
For my surprise team in a good way, as I said earlier, I really like the Atlanta Falcons. Why do I like the Atlanta Falcons, you may ask? They have a 67% chance to make the playoffs, right? They have what's not being talked about is they're ranked the easiest strength of schedule in the whole NFL. So they're going to have a lot of easy wins that they're going to go. They have the best QB that they've had since Matt Ryan, as I said earlier, which I think, and Kirk Cousins, I think he's going to be great for this team, the young talent that they have, the young talent in Bijan Robinson, who I think is going to have a breakout year, a very good year. They got Drake London, who I'm very high on. I think he's a great young receiver, big body, has a big radius of being able to catch the ball. So I think he's going to have a breakout year. And, you got Kyle Pitts, who some people are more high on than not, but this is ultimately the year for him to break out if he's going to break out, I think. So that's something to look out for. I'm very high on them. They also added 2 Pro Bowlers and Matthew Judon and Justin Simmons on the defense. I like those pickups a lot. I wanted Justin Simmons picked up for the Dolphins when during the offseason. So I'm a little jealous about that. But yeah, I think Atlanta's going to shock the league. And for teams in a bad way, I also went Buffalo. Lost a lot of core players. You lost Diggs, you lost Poyer, you lost Micah Hyde, you lost Gabe Davis. They also have the second hardest strength of schedule. So they're going to be playing a lot of tough games. They're in a tough division this year. And I just don't see them doing that good. I don't know if that's me being a hater. I don't know if that's me being factual, but I don't have them doing much this year. Next, I want to get into who do you think is a player that's going to shock the league this year?
So, as I'm saying, I'm kind of saying Washington is going to be well. I really do like Jane Daniels. That's a guy who, if we were to pick a quarterback, the New York Giants were to pick a quarterback, I wanted him out of anyone else. So I think he's going to, be exactly what he's supposed to be, and that's exciting. But also not exciting since he's in the NFC East, have to play him twice a year. So it'll be cool to see for Washington, but not cool to go against, if that makes sense.
Right.
And I like Breece Hall a lot. I think he's getting a lot of hype. So I hope he's lives up to the name that he's supposed to be. So yeah.
All right, sticking with the Jets, I'm going to go with the person that's been talked about a lot going into the season, and that's Garrett Wilson. Look, in 2023, he put up 95 receptions for 1,042 yards and 3 touchdowns. That was with Zach Wilson as his starting quarterback. That man, does he have a job right now? What is he, like a backup for, what team is it again?
Denver.
Anyways,
the worst,
Denver, that's good.
Yeah.
Got it.
The worst.
Yeah, he put up very good numbers for Zach Wilson throwing him the football. I mean, he's got Aaron Rodgers this year. He's projected at 80.5 receptions, which I think he'll get more than that overall. He is projected 1,139 yards, which is about 100 over what he did last year. And this is the big one. He's projected 9 touchdowns instead of his 3 that he had last year. So I think that he's due for a big breakout year. I think he's one of the most talented young receivers in the league. I'm going to keep it at that. I also picked the quarterback, and that is Kyler Murray. He has young superstars to throw to, and Trey McBride and Marvin Harrison. This is his second year back from that ACL injury, so he should be going into the year fully healthy. It's been talked about how he's going to have a higher volume in passing this year, and he's always a threat with his legs. So I think he's going to have a great year this year. All right, and finally for this little section we're doing here, who are the teams to beat in the AFC, and who are the teams, or not teams, I guess team. Who's the team to beat in the AFC, and who's the team to beat in the NFC?
So AFC, I think it's going to be Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
They just, like I said earlier, going against Kansas City, I think they have all the right players in all the right positions. So that's who I have. I think Kansas City is going to kind of run out of gas. Travis Kelce getting a little older, so
Right.
got a whole lot going on at receiver. Rasheed Rice getting in trouble and stuff. So we'll see what happens there. NFC team to beat, I have who? Let's see. I think it's gonna be Green Bay.
That's a
Yeah,
hot take, but I
it is a
like
hot
Green
take.
Bay. So explain a little bit why you got Green Bay.
So they have a lot of young receivers, and I I can't personally name them all. They're just
Uh,
kind of that
I
low
can
on the
name one,
radar. Okay, yeah,
Christian Watson.
Watson. Yes, I know. I'm he's all right. He's all right. So I him and they just I think they're gonna shock a lot of people. I think NFC is going to be Green Bay or Lions. Same thing with 49ers, I think, with Kansas City. They're kind of run out a little bit, lose a little bit of juice because they've been to the big stage for what, 2 times against Kansas City, lost both times, and it's just we'll see how it plays out.
Right. My team to be in the AFC is also the Ravens. I don't think the Chiefs are going to be as good this year. I think Travis Kelce is going to have a down year. I think the Chiefs, ultimately, I think their deciding factor is if Pacheco can have a great year. I think they're going to need that from him. So I'm not too high on them. I think the Ravens are significantly better. That's why I picked them for week 1 overall. I think that's going to be a very telling game of who the favorite in the AFC is. The NFC, sorry, man, but I got the Eagles.
Oh
I think
my
they're the best.
gosh.
I think they're the best team in the NFC right now. I like a
Wow.
lot of the moves they made. That's just who I got for that.
You know
Okay,
what?
really quickly, for the
Yeah.
sake of time, I saw on Instagram this post that was made by, I believe it was House of Highlights. I just want to go over this real quick. It's a bunch of fans that are putting out their hot takes for the NFL season. We don't have a lot of time, so I just want you to say if you agree or disagree. Okay,
All right.
these are
All
some
right.
crazy takes, and no explanation needed.
Go for it. Go for it.
You're gonna love this first one. Giants will finish the 2024 season with a better record than the Eagles.
Agree. No, I don't agree. But
I disagree as well.
all right.
Cowboys aren't making the playoffs after 3 consecutive 12-5 seasons.
Agree. I think they'll be worse than 12-5 though.
Really? Okay. Yeah. I disagree. I think Dak on a contract year is going to do some things. CD coming out hungry. Yeah, I don't think they'll be that bad. Bills will be a bottom 15 team at the end of the year. Head coach will be gone.
Agree.
I agree. That's all I got to say with that. Tua and Reek getting rings is the quote that this fan said.
Rings. Wow.
Rings is a big word now.
I know. I don't agree with the rings. I think they'll do well, but rings is finishing the job. I need to see Tua finish the job.
I agree. We're winning rings.
No.
I agree, but I'm agreeing because I'm a homer. Okay. Next slide. Tank Dell will be top 5 in receiving yards.
I agree with that. It's not ridiculous to say that.
Some would say. I disagree. I think Nico and Stephon Diggs being there now takes away some of the chances for him, but we'll see. I could be wrong. 2024 NFL MVP will not be a quarterback.
I don't agree. They're not going to change that unless someone has an absolutely ridiculous season, which Christian McCaffrey was like right there.
So. Yeah. I was just about to say, if that was going to happen any year, that would have been last year. So that's
without
not
a doubt. Without a doubt. Unless someone breaks a single season record of something. So, like, say Tyreek Hill got to 2,000, maybe.
But
that's
still
a maybe, though, It's not like it's like a lock.
So. I don't think it's happening. Okay, next is a rookie leads the league in receiving yards this year. You got Malik Neighbors, you got Marvin Harrison, you got some impressive guys coming out. Rome Odunze.
No,
That's
I
their take.
disagree.
I disagree as well. I do think there's some great receivers coming in this year.
Oh,
but
probably the best rookie class of receivers we've seen in a long time.
yeah, but I do not got one of them
No.
leading the league in yards.
Mm.
Bears will have 3 1,000-yard receivers.
I agree. 3 though? No, I don't agree.
I think they'll
3's
have
a
2.
lot.
I don't think they'll have 3.
3 is a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
That's crazy.
The Colts are going to surprise a lot of people this year. Anthony Richardson will be recognized as a top 10 quarterback after this season, and it will be a Chiefs versus Colts AFC Championship game.
All right. If they stopped it like halfway through, I would agree because I think Colts are going to surprise people, but Colts and Chiefs, no. Where's Baltimore? Come on.
Absolutely not. And let's finish it off right here with Daxon MVP.
Okay, no.
Absolutely not. That's all I got to say about that.
Insane.
Look, this was a great episode. With that being said, thank you guys for tuning in to this week's episode of GM Sports Report, where every play counts. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to be able to see our weekly episodes on all things sports. For additional content, check the description to see links to our Instagram and TikTok account. This is Grant and Mason signing off for now. Have a great week, everybody.
Thank you, guys.